G'day and welcome to another massive edition of McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League A-grade netball show. My name's Yeendy, I'm joined by Grace. Fantastic games we had last weekend. I think the competition really starting to take shape.
Yeah, it is. It's really heating up, Yeendy. Obviously getting to that midway point of the season now, so everyone starts to get a bit more serious about where they are on the ladder, and the ladder becomes a big talking point from here on in for people like us as well.
Absolutely, because there are quite a number of teams. There's probably 8 or 9 teams fighting for spots in the top 6 this year, which is looking fantastic. And another team that is starting to make their mark on the competition, Bacchus Marsh, taking down Ballarat by 8 goals.
Yeah, that's a big win for Bacchus Marsh. We always talk about them putting 4 quarters together and getting these sort of wins on the board. They still haven't beaten anyone of the real powerhouse teams in the competition. They've still to play them in the next couple of weeks, but a win against Ballarat is another big win for that club, and they've moved up into that middle sort of pack of the competition now, so they're really serious contender. Yeah,
definitely right. They're starting to show some great positive signs there. And Ballarat, they haven't been too bad this year. They've been competitive a lot of their contests, so it was not an easy win by any stretch of the imagination.
No, they're a bit the same as what Bacchus Marsh have been in the past. They sort of always come out firing. You never know what you're really going to get from them, other than they're going to compete for 4 quarters. And at the minute, they're just not getting wins on the board. But that's because they're a young team and they're a newly formed team under a new coach. So I expect that to the back end, they'll be a much stronger team, and those close games will turn into victories.
A couple of years' time, look out, they will be a massive threat. Lake Windaree had a big win over Mountain South by 5 goals. I know Mountain South, they had one of their players pull out on the morning of. From what I understand, they haven't been able to have a settled lineup this year, which has been difficult for them.
Yeah, it has been difficult for them, and that's obvious in their results. I don't think they've recorded a win since round 1, and Lakers, on the other hand, have lost their first one and had a bye, and then have come out all guns blazing since then. So again, another tough game for Mountain South, but we had high expectations of them at the start of the year, and they haven't quite met them yet. And Lake Windaree, on the other hand, have met all their expectations and are doing a really good job.
Exactly. They're sitting in 3rd spot, and they've got some good percentage behind them, so they are a team that poses a really good threat. A game over at Mars Stadium, which it was almost better than the grand final last year when these two teams last met, but it was Sunbury Lions edging out North Ballarat City. From what I understand, there was a little bit of difficulty with this one, with VNL making an impact here.
Yeah, VNL always impacts the stronger teams in our competition. Obviously, the North Ballarat girls have got a couple of VNL players, and Sunbury always have VNL list of players. But from all reports, still a high-quality game, which always is the case when Sunbury meet North, and the shooting is always exceptional. It's a bit of a shootout between Amanda Cusack from Sunbury and Madison Selman from North Ballarat, and I think Amanda probably got the chocolates and Sunbury took the win.
Yeah, exactly. To win one by 4 goals, a fantastic performance there. And North Ballarat City, they'll go into the bye filled with a little bit of confidence and something to take away from that one. Redan recorded a 26-goal win over Melton.
Yeah, Redan, another team in that sort of mid-pack that need to win these games and win them well, and that's what they did on the weekend. So they'll be certainly pretty impressed with that result. Melton, on the other hand, could be a little bit disappointed to let the margin blow out like it did, but again, they'll keep learning and take plenty of positives out of every match that they play.
Definitely right there. In the final game, Sebastopol defeated Darley by 28 goals. They're really starting to play that good 4-quarter performance, which we know they can play.
Yeah, exactly. Sebastopol are one of those teams that they've got George and Age on the court. They've got plenty of experience, and they're always going to shoot the ball well. It's just a matter of controlling it through the mid-court, and I think against the younger opposition, they probably do that a little bit better. Darley, we know now, and we can tell everyone now that they've changed coaching staff in the A grade, so it'll be interesting to see how they move forward from there. But I think Darley probably just a little bit inexperienced at the minute. Yeah,
definitely right. Well, something to positive they can sort of move on anyway. Hopefully things start to improve for them as the season goes on. And we'll look at some the big games we've got coming up this weekend. Ballarat playing host to Redan over at Alfredton.
Yeah, I think this will be a close one. Again, 2 teams that are probably desperate for wins. Ballarat want to sort of set the tone, get some confidence in those young girls, whereas Redan really need to win to keep in touch with that top 3-4 teams. So I think Redan will probably win it in a close one.
Yeah, exactly. There's only one game of percentage separating these two sides, but Ballarat lose, that gap starts to widen up a little bit for them. And when we talk about that gap between Redan and the top sides, well, Ballarat lose here. That's their finals aspirations start to slip further away. But I'm with you on that one. Redan should win. Darley and Melton South, that is a massive game for both sides.
Yeah, it is massive for both teams. Like we said, neither team's had a real win for the last couple of weeks. They've sort of been rolling on from their one win over Melton earlier in the year, and both teams will want to get a win here, and probably Melton South more desperate than Darley at this stage.
Yeah, exactly. They get the right combinations and have a settled lineup. That should be enough for them. East Point and Lake Windaree, this is going to be a great match.
Yeah, this will be huge. East Point obviously wanting to stay undefeated. Everyone loves to be undefeated, and with being undefeated comes that hunted sort of vibe. So Lake Windaree will want to knock them off and be the first ones to do so this year. And I honestly think this will be an absolutely cracking match, and I think Lake Windaree might get the job done just.
How do you think East Point will go into this game, having the bye and having the, sort of that 1 week on, 1 week off, 1 week on, off sort of scenario over the last few weeks?
Yeah, it's certainly not ideal for any club to have, 1 week on, 1 week off and lose that sort of momentum and continuity. So they'll be looking to get out in the court early, and they might trial a couple of things early, but they've got some experienced heads that have played a lot of finals netball. If it's close, they'll know how to play.
I think East Point will win that one. Melton and Bacchus Marsh.
Yeah, again, can't see Melton getting a win on the board anytime soon. Bacchus Marsh for me will be too strong.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. And the final game, we've got Sunbury Lions and Sebas.
Yeah, I think Sebas will certainly challenge Sunbury, but Sunbury should take the points in this one. It just kind of depends on which team turns up on the day. They're obviously excellent shooters, which we've already mentioned in the Cairn sisters and in Amanda Cusack. So excellent shooters. Sunbury probably have a bit stronger defensive lineup, so I'll go with Sunbury.
Yeah, that's going to be the key for them. Sebas will need to play at their best in order to get the chocolates there, but we don't expect that this week against a red-hot, undefeated Sunbury Lions side. All thanks to our friends at McDonald's. This has been the Ballarat Football Netball League A-grade Netty show, and Grace, thanks so much for joining us.
No worries, Andy. Thanks, mate.